welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you another look using the W7 Total Eclipse palette. It's a fairly straightforward one. I literally used 2 eyeshadows in this, so I've ended up doing a full face. Otherwise, this would probably have been quite boring for you guys. I had a few ideas for videos for the first time in like weeks, and I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do first, so I posted on my community tab asking you to vote between which video idea you wanted to see first, and the winner was this video with 52% of the vote. That is something I like to do every now and then. I was doing it over on Instagram more before, but now that I have the community tab, I am going to try and do it more and more over here. So just keep an eye out for those and make sure you get involved to decide what video I will be doing next time. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Alright, you guys know the drill. My eyes are primed as always with my P. Louise base in the shade 0.5. So I'm now going to jump into the Total Eclipse palette. I was going to say for the second time, I've used it more than twice, but for the second time on camera. The first shade that I'm going to go into is the shade Latitude down here. I'm just taking that on quite a small flat brush, and this is definitely probably the most pigmented shade in this palette, so definitely make sure that you tap off that excess, especially if you like to do your foundation first. And what I'm going to try and do here, and I definitely say try because I don't know how it's going to go, I'm going to try and outline the crease in that 60s way. I don't actually know what it's called. So yeah, I'm just going to start tracing it out. Pigmentation on this shade is good, and I'm just going to work with my eye open because I don't want the line to be hidden. I want it to be visible even when my eyes are open. And I'm trying to avoid raising my eyebrows in any way so that I can really get that nice shape when my eye is fully at rest, and it's not easy. And then once I'm happy with the shape, I'm just going to go back over it and make sure that colour is nice and even everywhere. And at this point I am raising my brow up. It just makes this process a lot easier because my skin isn't getting in the way. That sounds weird, I know. And a quick tip for you guys, if you want to do something and just make sure that your hand is staying nice and stable, just rest your finger on your cheek and it will just make life a lot easier. Okay, well my left eye isn't as nice as my right eye, but we'll just learn to deal with it. I'm just going to quickly clean up slightly in the areas where it isn't quite as neat as I would want it. So I'm just going to take my Pro Arte Master Stroke Series 61 brush. This is size 6. And I've taken a little bit of P. Louise base on the end, but not really that much. I'm just going to kind of clean up the edge. The underside doesn't really matter as much anyway because I'm going to come in with more eyeshadow in a second. I'm also just going to blend out any creases that have developed in my base. I do really want to get rid of any bits that are just sticking out at the top. How did the brush I was holding a second ago literally just disappear? Okay, they look a little bit more evened out now, so I'm going to fill in the colour. I'm going to jump back into the W7 palette, and the shade I'm going to go for is Astronomy. God, it's chunky. I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush, but one that's a little bit fluffier because I tend to find that they pick up some of these shimmers a little bit better. I'm going to remove the creases once again, and I'm just going to start packing that on the lid. That's looking pretty good. It is a pretty chunky shade. It is taking a lot of back and forth to build it up. I feel like it looks really patchy along my lash line. Let's try and build some more up. Okay, that's a bit better. And then I'm just going to take another small flat eyeshadow brush just to see if I can get nice and close to the darker shade that I put down first. It's definitely working, but I'm going to have to get up really, really close to the mirror in a minute, guys, so that I can really make sure there are no gaps. I was hoping for a bit more contrast between the two colours, although that is a a really, really nice shade. I just wish it wasn't taking me so much dipping in and out of the shade to actually get it to build up on the eye. And it does have that thick, kind of creamy texture. And because I'm having to go in and out of it so much, I feel like it will look textured really, really quickly. Right, what I'm gonna have to do, I'm just gonna take a really, really small flat eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna have to get in really, really close to the mirror just to make sure that I'm getting it right up to those lines, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have to say the effect on the eyes is really, really pretty, but that did take an awful lot of effort to do, and I have so much fallout. It just wasn't very, very easy to use. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying, but it is really, really pretty on the eye. I am just gonna quickly do a little bit of liner. I'm not gonna do a wing yet, but I am just gonna line the lash line, and then I'll come back and do the wing later. I'm just gonna use my Collection 24-hour Extreme Felt Tip Liner. If I can get it open, there we go. Just because it is nice and easy to use. So for now, all I'm doing is just lining that. That's basically it for the eyeshadow pretty much for now. So I'm just gonna start by taking off that fallout that I've got. So I'm just gonna use my Garnier Micellar Water on the cotton pad. Make sure we get that nice and clean. There's nothing more annoying when doing your makeup than putting all your foundation on and then all of a sudden you realise you have like loads of fallout left, especially when it's a dark colour and it starts mixing into your foundation, and then all of a sudden everything's really messy. I'm going right up into the outer corner. I'm going to take off some excess of that P. Louise base as well, I just don't need it there. Okay, so I'm going to prime my skin next, and I'm going to use the MUA Pro Base Banana Blur Primer. They sent me this one in PR, and I have to confess that I don't really know what I think about it because I haven't obviously been leaving the house for long periods of time. I haven't really been able to test this out and see whether it makes my makeup last longer or anything. I don't really feel like it's blurred anything. I feel like it's maybe made my forehead look a bit more matte, but I don't really feel like it's like really, really blurred anything. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighting underneath my foundation because I do want to try and make myself feel a little bit more glowy. I'm gonna take the Revolution Jelly Highlighter. This is the shade Prestigious. It's from their Christmas collection, not the year just gone, but the one before. So I maybe shouldn't still be using it. I think they still do it actually. I think it is still on their website. I'll obviously check and put a link up in the description box if it is. I really wanted them and then never really ended up using them. So I'm just putting it where my skin would naturally catch the light anyway. And I'm hoping it'll show through the foundation a bit. We'll see. If you're someone who wears minimal makeup, like you don't want to wear foundation, that kind of thing, go for a liquid or a jelly or basically any formula but powder, I would say, when it comes to your highlighter, because it's just going to look more glowy. If you just go for a powder highlighter, you're going to make that area look powdery basically. I know it sounds a bit obvious when I say it, but I just find that these highlighters, they won't enhance texture as much. This one's giving me a lot of glow that maybe, you know, you don't need that much, but I just think if you're going to do minimal makeup, then using something that isn't powder is just going to work a little bit better for you. For my foundation, I'm going to be taking my MUA Pro Base foundation, and the shade I'm going to be using today is 130 because that is my Fake Tan shade, and it comes with one of these spatulas, but I'm not going to put that on my face because bacteria. So I've just put that on a palette, and then I'm going to go in with my Peaches and Cream PC19 and pop that on. I'm pretty sure 60s makeup was all about fresh, more natural skin, but you know, my hormones had other ideas, so here we are doing full coverage basically. I do just wish there was a little bit more contrast in between those two shadow shades. I don't feel like you can see it as much as I wanted. Originally I was planning on doing the matte turquoise, but then I decided I wanted something more glittery. This one is just so dark. I do think there's something a little odd about the colour scheme of this palette, and obviously the Huda one. Like, why are all of your mattes so light and then you have a really nice turquoise glitter that is just so dark in comparison? I don't know. It's an odd Can you see that glow coming through? You kind of can. Not as much as I would have wanted, but it will have to do. As you guys can see, we've definitely still got some imperfections coming through. And then obviously the colour difference with my P2E's base is quite dramatic right now. So I'm going to use concealer to help blend that out. So the first one I'm going to use is my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is the shade Porcelain. And I'm going to use that for my spot concealing. I'm not sure Too Faced actually knows what colour Porcelain is. If I was naming shades of foundation or concealer, Porcelain would definitely be one of the lightest ones. It would be probably the colour that I would wear naturally as my spot concealing colour. To blend that in, I'm just going to go back into the Peaches and Cream brush. And I'm just kind of dabbing over. I'm not buffing it in, just dabbing. And that's just going to give us that coverage that we're missing. I do like this MUA foundation. I feel like it's a really nice budget option because it's only a £5. I just wouldn't call it full coverage. It's just not quite there. This one I would say is medium to full, but it's also £5, so I really don't feel like I can complain that much about it. And then for my highlighting, I'm going to go into the Heartbreakers concealer from I Heart Revolution, and I'm going to use the shade Oat. Blend it out with my PC18. Also just going to bring a little bit here, just highlight a bit more where I do get fine lines, just kind of bring the area back out a little bit. And then I'm going to do my under eye. I'm just going to blend it in with the P2E's base so that I don't have such a stark contrast. The only thing is that that glitter is very slightly patchy just on the outer corner. I don't really want to go in with any more of that eyeshadow because it was just so crumbly. I don't really want to ruin my base of it because I think it will. It does immediately look better when I cover up my under eye circles, doesn't it? I look a bit less like a sickly child. And then, what am I looking for? Powder. I'm just going to powder my face with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Light Plus. Now I feel flawless. I haven't got anything on the brow bone right now, it's just been left blank, and I do kind of want to set it in place. So I'm just going to go into my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light. That's the shade just below. I'm just packing that on. Not even packing actually, I'm going pretty lightly just to set that all in place. I'm going to blend out more out here as well. And then at the front, I'm going to do my bronzer. I'm going to take the MUA Bronzed Matte Bronzing Powder. This is the shade Solar. I like these cheap bronzers, but the packaging does seem to fall apart quite quickly. I say quickly, I've had this one for a year, but I've obviously had the same issue with my Revolution Holiday Romance bronzer. And I do want to contour as well, so I'm just going to take my Revolution and Patricia Bright face palette. Mine is in the shade Moonlight Glow, and I'm taking that on a PC15, and I'm going to deepen up those cheekbones. I normally can't really be bothered to do both, but you know what, this is going to be a really glamorous look. I'm going to bring it right on the periphery as well. Shrink that forehead. I'm already sorry for my future kids about how big their foreheads are gonna be. Whew, it is getting hot, and I have forgotten to contour my nose, so I'm just gonna go back into my bronzer. I know that bronzer isn't supposed to be used for contour because it's warmer and contour should be cool toned, but I just find, on me personally, when it comes to my lips and my nose, I just prefer using bronzer. I just find that I get a nicer result on me. And now I'm just going to spray on some Collection Primed and Ready. This is the matte one, just to... Oh right, it doesn't have a nice... It's just a small mister like that. I've just gotten used to using other setting sprays where like you can do a long press and just like really kind of cover your face in one go, but this isn't one like that. But I just want to mesh all the layers in together. Like, the weather's not even nice anymore and it's still really, really hot in here. So this was a great purchase. And I can be all like... Anyway, I'm going to take another really, really small flat eyeshadow brush. I'm going to go back into the W7 palette, back into Latitude, and I'm going to really make sure I'm tapping off all the excess. I want to get that right up in the lower lash line. Is that a piece of fallout I see? I believe it is. I'm just going to use a spatula. No. It's actually a piece of the glitter that just fell off my eye and onto my cheek. So thanks for that. So yeah, just really getting that shade right into the lash line. Right, so I'm just going to go back into my eyeliner now. I really can't get it open. I don't know what is up with me today. I'm going to finish up that wing. I'm sorry if I'm too close to the mirror. I'm just going to bring it kind of downwards. Hope you can see it. Just like a little downwards wing. I think I've done a terrible job, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. Actually, I'll tell you what I am gonna do. It does need a tiny bit of neatening up. So I'm gonna go back into my I Heart Revolution concealer in Oat. Just gonna put a little bit on my hand, like just that much. Literally, I don't need any more. I'm gonna go back into the Pro Arte brush I used to clean up the eyeshadow earlier. And just clean up the underneath. That is all it needed. I'm just gonna go and quickly do my brows off camera and then I'll be right back. All right, so my brows are now done. So next up, I'm gonna do my mascara. So I should be more prepared really, shouldn't I? I'm just gonna use my Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. I don't really have that much to say at this stage. God, I just do feel like this back wall colour is a problem. It's just all too similar right now, isn't it? And then what I'm going to do on the lower lash line, I'm going to do the lashes carefully though, so I don't get mascara everywhere. And then I'm just going to take some tweezers and I'm just going to pinch some sections in together to create that eyelash effect that they always had in the 60s. I could just draw it on or use false lashes, but I know I'm going to do a bad job, so I'm just going to pinch. Has it worked? It kind of has. Actually, in the monitor, that looks quite nice. Oh my god, it started raining. Oh, my laundry's outside and it's raining really bad. Oh, I can't go outside now because it's going to ruin all my makeup. That's like heavy-ish rain as well. Oh no! Oh my god. I really should be going to get it, but I've just been working too hard on this. I really don't want to stop. Right, I'm going to try and ignore that. I am going to add my false eyelashes now. I'm going to use my Eva Lashes by Daxi Beauty. I want some nice, really, really over-the-top ones. So these ones are going to be perfect. And I do have a discount code with them if you guys want to use it. It's in the description box and it isn't an affiliate code. I'm going to take my Kwikset Duo Lash Glue. I've really, really been liking this one. Number one, it comes with an applicator, which just makes your life so much easier, and because it does dry down a little bit faster as well, you don't have to wait as long with it, which can be the most frustrating part of applying lashes sometimes. And of course I'm doing a really bad job of sticking my lashes on right now. Why am I like this? Well, after telling you guys how much I've been loving this glue, oh my god, I just got, what is wrong with me today? After telling you guys how much I've been loving this glue, I've just done a really bad job of sticking the lashes on. My inner corner is really, really struggling. And I went to add in more glue on the inner corner and I've managed to get some on the lashes. That's fine, I have a spare pair. I'm gonna swap them out. We will pretend this didn't happen and know that everything went fine. Attempt number 2 at lashes. See, this time it went absolutely fine. I think I just put a little bit too much glue on the first time. Oh, these are long. Okay, now that that is over, what I want to do is highlighter. I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild highlighting powder in Blossom Glow. Taking that on my PC 17. feel like I haven't used this one in ages. Oh my god, it's so pretty. There was no point of me doing that glow underneath the foundation really, was there? That didn't really come through. This highlighter is really, really cheap. You can get it in Boots in the UK, you can get it on Beauty Bay, and I actually use this one as my everyday highlight, like for work, because it's not a glittery highlight. It is purely metallic. I don't know if it was the best choice against the tan skin though, because it is looking really, really pink on camera. I do want to highlight my brow bone as well. So I'm just going to go into my Revolution highlighter Reloaded and Set the Tone. Just going to take it on a flat brush. I'm just going to pop that right in the brow bone. And then just taking a pencil brush, going to take some more. Gonna highlight the inner corner as well. For blush, I'm just gonna go into my Makeup Obsession Pinky Promise palette, and I'm gonna use a mixture of Secret and Whisper. And I like doing blush after highlighter now, because it just melts them in together a little bit more. Just like to bring the excess all over. Blend in all that highlighter, and I'm just going to go in with the Collection Primed and Ready again, just set all of that in place. What an amazing investment. Best decision ever. So next up, I'm going to take some of these, not teardrops are they, because teardrops have got a point on one end and they're circular at the other, but these Leafy Gems. I really don't know what the shape is called. This is from a pack of several on Amazon, but this is no longer linked in my description box because it's just not there on Amazon anymore. But you can find so many different sellers of these gems on Amazon, on eBay, so any will do. I'm gonna take the kind of clear ones and I'm gonna want them underneath my eyes. So here's hoping I don't mess everything up right now. So I'm just gonna take a small tube of Lash Glue. This is just one that came with a set of eyelashes. I'm gonna pop it on my palette and I'm just gonna use the back of a brush to pop that on. I think I'm gonna pop one on here, and then just using the very thin tweezers that came with the set, I'm gonna pop that on. So that's what I'm gonna do. I kind of want them to look almost like tears, so I'm just gonna position a few. Oh, maybe just on one side of my face actually. I don't know yet. Let me pop some more on. Kind of like that actually, just with 3. For my lips, I'm going to go into one of the Peaches and Cream lip liners. This is the shade Punchline. I'm just thickening it up a bit. This is pretty dark. And then you know what, I'm just going to take a Zoeva 231 just to kind of soften that out. And then I'm going to take the Revolution Pro lipstick in Cashmere. This one is broken. I honestly don't know what happened to it. Yeah. I'm going to go back into the lip liner and just quickly redefine everything. And then to finish everything off, I like to add my lip piercing back in because I just think it looks nice in pictures, but I'm not re-piercing the whole thing. So I'm just gonna go into some larger gems. This is from the same set as these ones, which unfortunately, as I said, I just can't link down below. Just gonna pop some glue on. I literally just go right over where my piercing used to be. And I think we're gonna go for this nice petrol one because it should go quite well with the look. Love how it looks. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. I hope as always that you liked it. I'm quite pleased with how this came out considering I only used 2 eyeshadows. That colour on the lid is really, really gorgeous. It's just such a shame that it took so much building up for me to get it to work. It was literally just so much work and that was a little bit frustrating, but other than that, now that it's packed on, it is a really, really pretty shade. Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, then do as always, please give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of it, and of course subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on my next video, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys!